I've told you numerous times about Moms for Liberty, and I've also told you what happens when folks do not show up to vote. Well, what happened? Moms for Liberty ran a number of people for school board races all across the country, and they won in many of those places. This far-right, anti-government, extremist organization is doing damage. And one of the things that they're doing by taking over school boards, they're firing superintendents, they're getting rid of teachers, and they're imposing their ideology, including ridding places of Black history. Well, now there's an organization that is trying to fight them. Liz Mikitarian, the founder of Stop Moms for Liberty, joins us now from Titusville, Florida. All right, Liz, so founder of Stop Moms for Liberty, why'd you decide to do this?
Well, first of all, I'm thrilled to be on your platform. I've been following your work for years, so thank you for that.
Appreciate it.
I've been an educator for over 25 years, so recently retired, so to speak. And Moms for Liberty started in the chapter or the county where I live in the state of Florida. And I know one of the founders personally. So I kind of, as the kids say, I have some receipts. So I know that this is not the grassroots movement that they say that they are. And so as an educator, I was trying to, at the very beginning of Moms for Liberty, get on, social media and phone calling, whatever, to try and get people to be a little bit more rational and realize that what they were being told was not what was happening in our public school system and that they were being misled. And instead of getting some response to, oh, here's a teacher, maybe she knows some information, they started calling me names. So I was called a groomer one too many times. I was told that I supported pedophilia one too many times. And I just started thinking there have got to be other people that are being attacked like I am. And there have got to be people on, our side of the issues. And it's time for us to get together if there are. Well, sure enough, there were plenty of people in the state of Florida. So we first had a Brevard County chapter, and then we grew out into all the counties in Florida. And then South Carolina reached out and said, hey, we're having an issue here. Have you thought about taking this to, a next level and branch out into states? And so that's what we did. And once South Carolina was under the umbrella, it was kind of like a flame had been lit or something. And we have currently now groups that are in just about 46 of the states. And under those groups, we also have the local groups that are forming that are specific to school districts. And your lead-in was absolutely right. Their plan was to take over school boards, which they have done. And I will say there is a little ray of hope because the success you were noting was last fall election. We then fast forwarded to this past spring, and they were not as successful because more people around the country are realizing that what they're selling is not what they want to buy. And so there was much less success in the spring, and we're anticipating much less success in the fall. But you're right, a whole lot of damage has been done. In my own county, my superintendent was kind of booted out on the first meeting that these newly seated board members did. And they're doing this. They fired the first African-American superintendent in, I think it was the whole state of South Carolina. And these are the things that are in their playbook. And it has nothing to do with improving education. It has to do with taking over.
But what they've also done is they've taken advantage of voter apathy. A lot of people ignore school board races. They don't actually even vote. And so that's how they were able. And what they did was they also studied when the terms were up in some of these places. And so they did all the research. And here's the whole thing. Steve Bannon said all of this. Mm-hmm. So this wasn't like, oh my God, caught by surprise. They said, we're going to run people for all of these positions, and we're going to take over school boards, election boards, all of these places.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely correct. This is not a moms have some concerns about their kids in school movement. This is a highly structured, highly funded, really national push to privatize our public school education system in the country. And it's very transparent once you start digging into the subject. I was drawn to coming onto your show after I saw you interview Keisha King, who presents herself as just a mom, but she's actually employed by Moms for Liberty and works at the national level. So, you know, she unfortunately, I think got eaten up a little bit on your show, which was rightfully so because she didn't have the answers. And that's what we're finding is the common piece of this is that they don't have facts. They have rhetoric, they have, you know, scare tactics that frankly are brilliant, right? They, you know, talk about parents' rights. Well, who's not in favor of parents' rights? They talk about we don't want pornography in schools. Well, who exactly is in favor of pornography in schools? No one. And so they've taken, you know, some basic concerns that parents have that they already have rights and they already have a system of doing things about. And they've convinced a lot of people across the country that school systems are shutting them out. And that's far from the truth. Schools have always had an open door policy, multiple opportunities for parents to be involved. If parents didn't know about that, then find out about it now instead of going on this attacking mode. Our whole movement started with little old retired kindergarten teacher me, who was just afraid that my whole profession was being undermined. And I was determined to get people together. So we are strictly a communication tool across the country. And our whole thing is to fill in that lack that I saw, that there were great things happening, but people weren't talking to each other. For example, there might be a great rally that's planned in Florida by the NAACP, but the folks in Georgia have no idea that it's going on when they could have maybe attended, and vice versa for different locations. So, you know, we're looking at strong support for the LGBTQ plus community and connecting those activities on the ground. And there's a lot of intersectionality with what they're attacking because fundamentally it's just about rights, period. And their position is that they are the only group that should have any rights. And so even if someone's not supportive of the Black community or supportive of the gay, straight, and lesbian community, then you need to understand this is a fundamental attack on democracy. And it's absolutely correct. They started it in school boards because that's the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest to pick for the reasons that you stated. And it just needs to stop because we have to have a public education system. Does it need to improve, Roland? Absolutely. And I will be on the front lines fighting for improvements. But this is an all-out attack and it needs to stop.
All right. Well, Liz, if people want more information, where do they go?
We have a website, www.stopmomsforliberty.com. It's there on the graphic. We're very active on Facebook. We have lots of private groups that you can join. We are now establishing a presence on TikTok. We have some on Twitter, Instagram, so there's lots of different things. Lots of ways to reach out to us. We have stopmomsforliberty@gmail.com as an email to reach out to us. And we welcome questions and we welcome new members in pushing back on this. You mentioned fascism, I believe, earlier in your show.
Yep.
Well, what's the easiest place to have fascism come into play? We've seen it already in history, right? In Germany, it was in the classrooms. So this is where we need to push back because this is not America. We are one nation for liberty and all, and it's too bad that a small component of the population doesn't really believe that or support that, but the majority of us do. And we are willing to stand up and fight for that.
All right. Liz, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Roland. Have a great
Thank you.